Oh, it's on. The microphone that I am holding is on right now. So there's that. So there's that. Awesome. I like how you set us up for like coffee talk. This is perfect. All right. It's 11. We can do this. Let's make sure. Awesome. Hey, welcome everybody. I feel like I don't have my normal middle aisle and it's very weird, FYI. So welcome. It is April 22nd. In case you didn't know, congratulations. Now you know. All right, so we're going to start off like we start off every week. We're going to talk about a couple of our culture points from Mo's list of the 52 culture items of Keller Williams. You're so good about moving that box so I can see them at a time. All right, so the first one is consider the other person's point of view before responding. Consider the other person's point of view before responding. Consider the other person's point of view before responding. Between the market that we're in and the fact that our lives are run by social media, y'all might want to like write that on a piece of paper and post it somewhere. Like there's a couple of things that come to mind. At any given time, the average person is doing the best they can. It's important to remember. And then the other thing is that you all were new at some point. I see a lot of very mean girl, mean boy, complainy posts on Facebook lately, not from you guys necessarily, so don't feel like I'm saying this to you, and yet just in case, about these offers that come through and these agents don't know what they're doing. Like we were all new at some point. So yeah, consider the other person's point of view and just the fact that they might be new. Committing to sharing your knowledge in the market center through mentorship or teaching. Look, that's a win-win, guys. If you want to get great at something, teach it. Also, we would always love extra people to teach, so please let us know. Amber teaches like 82 classes a week. All right.
I would love some extra instruction.
We would just be so happy about it. What's next? All right, bucket fills. Who has somebody did something fantastic for them and they would like to share it, or you just had awesome news and you did it for yourself and that's fine too. I'll come to you because our sound system is still from 85.
I want to fill Amy's bucket, my transaction coordinator. If it wasn't for her, I don't know where I'd be. Also, Jonathan from
Crazier.
Van Dyke. Yeah, Jonathan from Van Dyke. He's been phenomenal helping.
That's fantastic. Your clients, plural, because you're busy now and I like it. Who else has got something? Yeah, Tom. I have to awkwardly stand by you or else people on Zoom can't hear.
This is actually a shout out to you and to our office for supporting me all the time, but effectively when I had a buyer that wanted to do something on the East Coast, and it meant that we needed to do some things, and you guys supported me through that, and it made a huge difference for me. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. It did make a huge difference. We'll talk about that soon. All right, what else do we have? If you're on Zoom, you can just go for it. No hand raising, you just talk. Do we really only have two? Do we need a group COVID-free hug? All right, I'm coming to Anjali. No, well, you should. That's adorable that you were trying not to talk. That's not possible for you. What's up?
A huge shout out to Smyrna. She has been an incredible help with work and otherwise also. So
Smyrna's awesome. Smyrna is on fire right now.
she is.
Smyrna was like, I don't know if I'm going to stay in real estate. And now she's like picking up 4 deals in one weekend and she's on fire. It's fantastic. Anybody else have something that they want to share? Julia, go for it.
Hey, I'm driving, I'm making my way to the meeting. I just wanted a shout out to Julie Millsap, my new assistant, executive assistant. And I'm just so excited to have her and she's getting me organized and thank you.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
I will fill your bucket for pulling the trigger and hiring an assistant like I think you needed to do like 82 years ago. So congratulations on taking the step. I know it's scary and I know it's not easy. That's fantastic. And
It's a
yay for
wonderful
Julie.
thing.
Julie and
Good
Julia,
things
that
to
will
come.
never get confusing, I'm sure. Any other bucket fills? 1, 2, 3, no. All right, what's next? All right, if you have a buyer need, I'm sure there's nobody. If you have a listing coming up and it's within 24 hours of going into the MLS, because I do not control what clear cooperation is, or if you have a broker exclusive, then you can say whatever you want. If you're an agent looking to potentially join a team, or you're a team looking for agents, now is your time. Who has something? Tom, I'm coming to you.
But I have a question to that, because I was reading
Ooh.
about the clear cooperation.
Oh,
thing.
it's my favorite topic. Let's talk about it.
I was under the impression that an agent can discuss with other agents in their office about an upcoming listing before the 24 hours.
If it's a broker exclusive,
Okay. Which
if
is-
it's a regular listing,
Yeah,
that's
No.
different.
but if it's a broker.
If you sign a
exclusive-
broker, it's different deal. If you sign a broker exclusive, you can do whatever you want with the agents. And it's actually all three of Nikki's market centers, because Howard is the broker for all three. So that's great. And yet otherwise it's within 24 hours and we all love it so much. It's not fascinating at all. All right, who's got one? Kim Basin, go for it.
Hey, everybody. I have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath in Wesley Chapel, 295. It's actually going on tomorrow. They've had a broker's exclusive, but they've decided to change it. So we're actually not doing any showings till Saturday. But yeah, so it's 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 295. Needs a couple updates, but has granite counters and nice lot.
Does it have a pool?
Does it have a pool? We have a question.
No, it's 6340 Weatherwood Circle. in the Villages of
340 Weatherwood. Awesome.
Wesley.
Yay, yay, yay.
634 Yeah, whatever. You'll
Oh.
see it soon.
Yeah, sure. What, just Weatherwood. Hey, all right. Who else has got something? Julia, go for it.
I just, it's going live today. It's in Brooksville. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's only 5 years old. It's called a Trillium Park. It has a flex room, immaculate shape granite kitchen island, vinyl fenced yard for $250,000.
Fantastic. And that was Julia Wright. Who else has got something? Oh, what? It was in Brooksville. Who else has got
Brooksville.
something? Is everybody just so burnt out on sharing their buyer's needs? This is sad. I feel bad for you poor people. Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, if you have more, look, I'm going to tell you again, clear cooperation's annoying. I didn't make it. However, post your buyer needs often. I have some of your buyer needs memorized. That means that other people would too. So buyer needs, we can post to our, like, post them in the groups, post them in the Facebook groups, put yourself out there. People will remember. All right, next slide, upcoming events that I can't see. Cool, April 23rd at 1 o'clock. That's tomorrow, last time I checked, right? Cool. Command Marketing and Designs with Miss Amber. See, I told you, she teaches like 82 classes a week. April 26th at 1 p.m. That's sometime next week. Command Campaigns and Facebook Ads with Taylor Boyd. April 27th at 12, we've got Market Share Masters, Mega Agent Mastermind. That is invite only. If you're on that list, I'd love to see you. It would be so great. I would love it. And if you have questions or you're like, I don't know if I'm on that list, talk to me. April 27th from 9 to 4, we have Take Command of Your Tech. So we've got another all-day command event. So like, don't go all day. You don't have to do the whole thing. There are different, it's like every 45 minutes they change again, right?
45-minute modules all day with breaks in between.
Yeah, so 45 minutes, then a 15-minute break, 45 minutes, then a 15-minute break. So that's something where you could pick and choose the things that you would get the most value out of.
And they're going to be doing this the last Tuesday of every month.
Last Tuesday of every month, this is going to keep happening. And then April 28th at 11, we've got something.
Farming for your business.
Farming for Your Business with Mr. Garrett Grimes. So fantastic. What a good time to farm and get more listings. All right, what's next? We've got, oh, this is, I feel like you're messing with me at this point. All right. I don't know when it is. Cool. What, okay, I'm just going to look at just, okay, hey, May 6th from 1 to 4. This is exciting. We've got Flip, how to find, fix, and sell houses with Adrian Sabatino. Okay, so Adrian is one of those, he's like Howard and Nikki, and he has 82 jobs. So he's the OP of 2 market centers. He's also a mega agent, and he has a very active new build business and flipping business. And he's like still young and has young kids, and he kind of makes me crazy because he's uber successful, and he's awesome, and he's a fantastic instructor. If you would like to build more wealth within real estate, or if maybe you want to attract more investors and you want to know more about flipping, this would be a fantastic class for you. And it is on Zoom on May 6th from 1 to 4. All right, getting listings when there are none. Does that sound current? Yes, I heard all the yeses, not really. All right, Wednesday, May 12th. I was gonna say, you do have to interact with me at some point or else I just go home and cry after these meetings. All right, so from 1 to 4 on May 12th, getting listings when there are none with Jason Smith. Is there anyone in here that would not like more listings? Because if so, you need to quit real estate, I'm sorry. Okay, so we want more listings, so we should be at this class and you have plenty of time to plan for that. Next one. We have a Red Day coming. That is May 13th. If you are newer to us or you've been under a rock, no judgment. Red Day is the one day a year. It's on about the same time. It's on a Thursday, so it's not always the birthday, but it's to celebrate Mo Anderson's birthday. If you're new to us, you don't know who she is, but she's really awesome. She is our former CEO. Honestly, none of us would be here without her because she's the one who kind of got in business with Gary and made the company go from tiny to takeoff. She's still around. She's still working. She's like 84. Like, she can't stop working. And anyways, this is to celebrate her. She's big on culture. So we shut down as a company. This office will not be open. Of course, you can still access it if you need to work. It's fine. And yet everybody will be at Red Day. And we are working at a local food pantry. We only have, I remembered, you should be very proud. We only have 10 spots left. It is still COVID times. I do see way less masks because we're vaccinated. It makes me a little bit happy. And I'm just letting you know, we only have 10 spots left because they're limited to 50 people. Otherwise, it's too close quarters. Now, if you don't get one of the slots or you cannot make it in person that morning, we are collecting donations. It is a food pantry, so anything non-perishable. And then help me out, what are we collecting? Because we're also collecting for the,
So we've
This-
got boxes
I'm just gonna
we've got
hold
two-
this your way.
Thank you, thank you. We've got two sets of boxes up front. We have one that's very shiny and gold. That is
So
for our non-perishable foods. That's going to go to Community Food Pantry. For Red Day, we're collecting that up until the Friday before, the Wednesday before Red Day, which will be the 12th. And then we are collecting hygiene type of items, deodorants, shampoos, things like that. For Metropolitan Ministries, Catherine Sakis brought that to us, and they will be collecting through May the 7th, the Friday before Mother's Day. So both of those boxes are up front. You can come in and drop it off and we'll get it where it needs to go.
Awesome, thank you. Vanna, what's that email, huh?
So make sure you register online. We've got 10 spots left and it'll probably sell out after today. And if you want a t-shirt, go on the office Facebook page. There's a link to order your t-shirt as well as a pinned post at the top.
Awesome, there you go. Okay, what's next?
We couldn't hear her on Zoom.
Even though she had the mic?
Yeah, I
so-
couldn't hear her. Sorry.
I'm so confused. What, like you didn't hear any of it or just the end part?
Whoever was talking besides you, I couldn't hear what was being said.
Okay,
Did
well,
you-
that's fascinating. We're just talking about Red Day, and we were also
Got it.
talking about the other. Basically, if you have things to give away, bring them to our lobby. We have two
Got it.
boxes. We have two boxes. One of them is very shiny. One of them is not.
Thanks.
New things. Yeah. Please don't bring like half-eaten food. That's just not nice. Okay, so we have another class coming up. Presentation is everything with Mr. Nico Paredes. He is quite the instructor. This is Thursday, May 20th and Thursday, May 27th. It is a two-part class, obviously, if you're paying attention. Both of them are from 1 to 4. That one is online only as well, correct? Yeah, online only on Zoom. And all of these are on our calendar if you want to go look up the flyers and learn more about them. Next, Florida Best Quote. Do we have our friend on here? Fantastic.
I'm here.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, how are you?
Good news.
First of all, I'm so sorry for missing you guys 2 weeks ago. I totally thought that baby brain wouldn't apply to me, and clearly it does. So my apologies for that. I'm learning how to deal with all this.
You're human. It's allowed.
Thank you for that. Thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lindsay O'Donnell with Florida Best Quote Insurance, here to help you with all of your insurance needs, homeowners, flood, auto, commercial, life and health, whatever you need, we can help with that. Today, I just want to quickly talk about 4-point inspections and citizens insurance. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that our rates are going pretty sky high right now. Things are getting a little tough in the market. Just slightly. So a lot of policies are starting to go through Citizens. 6 months ago, we would put 1 in every 50 policies with Citizens. Now it's probably 30 in every 50 policies is going through Citizens Insurance. Their rates are competitive, so that's good. The problem is that they're very, very particular when it comes to 4-point inspections. So if you've got an older home and we've got a buyer trying to get insurance on it, I would urge you to make sure that you're pointing that buyer in the direction of at least 3 inspectors that you know really well and that you can communicate with, you can step in and help in the event of an issue. Because when we're submitting these to Citizens, we have to submit an absolutely perfect inspection to them before you close. So we've got to have every bit of information on there, every photo that's needed. We can't even miss checking one little box, or if we mischeck a box, we're going to have an issue with Citizens. So it's really imperative that we have an inspector that we can go back to and request quick changes. That will just make things a lot easier for your buyers, a lot easier to go through that process with them. Now, that being said, Citizens is the most competitive rate, but they're not going to allow any time for repairs to be done for your buyers who are in multiple offer situations, trying to get these houses with the roof that needs to be replaced, the panel that needs to be replaced, things like that. So if you do run into one of those situations, you're just going to want to have the conversation with your buyer that the insurance will probably be a bit more expensive to get through closing. We can get them through closing. We can get them time to get repairs done. It's just going to cost a little bit more out of pocket until we can switch them back over to a more competitive carrier who will take the policy once all 4-point issues are clean. So if you run into any issues, just give me a call, send me the inspection, let me know what's going on. I'll walk through it with you, give you all options we have, get your buyer into the house, and get repairs done when we can. Here to help you and here to help everyone in this crazy market figure everything out. So just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Lindsay.
Thank you.
All right. We have awards now. Now it's all about you. I know you guys love that. All right, cool. Let's go. That's GCI. Oh, well, aren't you gonna like put them on the? Okay, well, all right. Click, please. Click, please. Oh, okay. All right. So we've got I'm used to reading them off the screen, woman. All right. So top agent award, our #1 shocker, since he's the topic of the day, is Tom Wagner. We'll give it up for him. Our #1, see, like, this is not in order. This is not what we normally do, lady. Our top team is the Youngblood group. Miss Jackie is not in the room. She's in Georgia with her family. And our top group is Team Bohannon. Top agent award for volume. It's a super huge shocker. This is also Tom Wagner. Top team award for goes to the Youngblood group as well. I can talk, I promise. Oh, see, now you're doing slides. Okay. And the top group award for volume goes to the Delgado home team. Very, very good. Top individual agent for units is Miss Julia Wright. Woo woo. I mean, you had to sit at the back. Just kidding. Top team for units is Miss Jackie Youngblood and the Youngblood group. And top group for units is Delgado home team. Way to go. And then there's also like other people up there too. Just by the way. All right, congratulations for first closings. Okay. All right, lady. Okay, cool. So congratulations to all of our home run winners. We have a lot of them. I mean, I'll read them because I feel like we have to. So Allison Rosh, Amber and Jared Rutherford, Angie Blackman, Ashley Gaitis, Austin Holmes, Bobby Fioretti, Cliff Howell, Craig Kinchlow, Crystal Tipton, Dale Bohannon, Doug Bohannon, Gloria Steele, Jacqueline Chall, Janet Kramer, Jason Maniecki, Jennifer Carcamo, Jen Hernandez, Jerry and Jim Dixon, Jim and Nancy Ward, Joanne Piazza, John Hangartner, George Morjan, Catherine Sakis, Katrina Madewell, Christy Droblos, Lori Dykeman, Mary Beth Stort, Melissa DiMaria, Paul Mercer, Ryan Schultz, Suresh Barwani, Tom Wagner, Tina Thomas, Tony Gonzalez, Trent Howell, Vincent Montero, I only call him Vince, but threw me off, Walter Delgado, Yale Hatfield, and a partridge in a pear tree. Holy cow. So a lot of you did lots of business. This is fantastic. So congratulations. Now we're on Capper. You're really trying to mess me up today. The blade's coming out later. Okay, so congratulations to our latest cappers. We've got Tom Wagner. We've got Lisa Palunin, who is a first-time capper. Congrats. We've got Ashley Gaitis. We've got Kathy Muscatel, Fernando Warren, and Jackie Youngblood. Give it up for them. Love it. And first closings. All right. All right. In the room, we've got Miss Meredith Haley. Congratulations. And number 2 is already on the books from what I understand. So that's fantastic. We've got Suresh Barwani, who is not in the room, and congratulations. We've got Dario Montez, not in the room, and Bill White. You're like, set him down, set him down. All right, congratulations. Congrats to our latest PC graduate, Taylor Stallings. Very, very good job, my friend. You're out, you've done your 3 transactions, you're on your own. The baby bird is out the nest. Fantastic. All right, so these are regional awards. So as an office, we rank number 4 for closed units out of the region, which is 30 something offices. I feel like it changes every month, 33, 34, something like that. Number 4 at 215 units. So, oh my God, how many did the other offices sell? And number 4 in closed volume at over $75 million as one office closed in a month. I think that's fantastic. So that's all you guys. Give it up for you. And now we're on for the reason you're actually here. Although I know you guys like your awards, like, let's be real. So Tom has been so gracious as to come and share today. Tom did have a $100,000 plus month last month, which must have just felt nice. Yeah, I would imagine so. And I'm asking you in public, so now of course you have to say yes. Like, are you cool with me sharing about what you earned in real estate last year?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. I think it was about $62,000 from real estate last year. And last month he made $100,000. So I think he's doing some things that we all might benefit from. And it's my understanding from looking around that like this month and next month, they're both going to be pretty freaking strong as well. So he's not a one and done. We're not a one-hit wonder. So that's why I wanted him to share today. So come on up, my friend. Give it up for him. He's telling you how he did it. And I'm going to like awkwardly just kind of hold this little microphone and you're going to be good. So first of all, for people who don't know you, because look, people come and go here all the time. How long have you been selling real estate?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Okay, so you're experienced and yet still on the newer side. You're still like in that phase. Okay, so that's pretty impressive. First of all, what did you do before real estate?
PR and marketing and then sales.
Okay, all right. So it was pertinent. So that's good. So going from last year to what you're doing this year is insane. Like, I mean, I don't even know how to calculate what you're going to end the year at. So, I mean, you're obviously going to like more than quadruple your, like, it's going to be a crazy year. Tell us how you got there. Like, tell us what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so fun. Okay. What, the mic just weak today? Like, what is the deal? Okay. Yeah. And hey, on Zoom, please turn your volume all the way up. Cause I mean, I don't really think Tom wants to sit 2 inches from me because it's going to get weird. Anyways, here.
Can everyone hear me now?
Hey, somebody on Zoom, tell me if you can hear him. In fact, I'm going to have you hold this so I don't have to. And I know how to be really extra off.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay,
Perfect.
awesome. Well, so I think I'm going to actually go back a year ago to get to
That
where we
sounds
are
great.
today. And I think this story is probably what a lot of people experienced. 2020 was off to a very good start for me. I felt very good about where I was going. I had clients and mostly buyers that were active, one that was under contract for about $1.3 million. And then the pandemic and the shutdown and my $1.3 million buyer canceled. And the other 4 active buyers stopped and my business came to a screeching halt. At the time, I was doing open houses to find my clients. I'm very comfortable with that. And it was working the way that I wanted it to. My business was growing in the direction that I wanted it to grow in. And so every weekend, it really starts during the week, I would target the houses that I wanted to do open houses at. I'd contact listing agents and beg, borrow, plead until they said yes. And then I would do very strategic open houses with usually fairly new homes on the market, which obviously doesn't happen now. But when everything got shut down and my clients all stopped doing what they were doing and there were no open houses to be had at all, you weren't even allowed to leave your house, I panicked. I honestly was kind of in that, pardon my French, but oh shit moment of what do I do now? And I actually kind of fell back on the teachings and the things that we've learned here through Bold and through coaching and through everything that Keller Williams teaches. And I went to my database. I'm a very social person. And up until the pandemic, I like to go out and talk to people face to face. Networking, social activities, open houses. And then when all that stopped, I turned to my phone, my text messages, my Facebook messages, and I just started going through my database. Again, there's no secret sauce here. This is all going to sound repetitive to a lot of people, but I didn't call up and say, hey, John, do you know anybody who's selling or buying a house? I'm desperate for clients. Of course not. That's not going to go anywhere.
Thank God.
But what I did do is say, hey, John, gosh, it's been a few years since we talked. Isn't this crazy? What's happening in your world right now? And then I'd ask about his family and I'd ask about his job. And I'd say, hey, you were managing a restaurant. What's happening with you? And I'd just let him talk. And as they talked, I'd write down notes. I'd find out what was new in their lives, what was happening with their family. You know, they had teenagers that were about to graduate from high school. Oh, there's a little note. I'm going to reach out and find out if in a couple of years they need to downsize. You know, this stuff like that. I had a lot of very natural conversations with people and just asked them how they were doing. And the response that I got was overwhelmingly positive because everyone was panicking. It didn't matter what industry they were in. It didn't matter what they were doing. Everybody was panicking. And it was nice just to have a conversation with somebody that either I worked with years ago or I went to college with, or I used to live near, or whatever the case may be. And we spoke sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes for an hour. And by the end of that conversation, they'd ask me how I was doing. And I'd say, well, you know, to be honest, this is a crazy world and the real estate industry is up in the air right now. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm on top of it and I'm going to stay on top of it. And if it gets to the point where you hear of somebody who's maybe going to buy or sell, have them reach out to me because I don't know what the market's going to look like. And I guarantee you they don't either. And I can just give them some advice on where to proceed with that. And that was a conversation I had 10 times a day, sometimes 15 times a day over the course of the next month while we were in lockdown. And then I just continued. And so basically the database was really where I was going. And eventually when things started opening up again, I went back to doing open houses and I went back to the things that I was doing before, but I kept talking to the people that I had reached out to and reconnected with over years of, it was a perfect time for me to reach out to people that I hadn't talked to in sometimes 10 years because the world was crazy and it was the easiest opening ever. Like, I can't believe it's been 10 years. What's happened? Like, what's happening with you right now? Everybody's crazy. What's going on? And of course, eventually those turned into referrals, and those referrals are driving my business in 2021. It's more than 75% of the business that I have right now is off of referrals. So a lot of the legwork that I did back then is paying dividends now. The other thing that I did, which I'm not seeing dividends on yet, but I expect to, was I went very hyper local to my neighborhood. My wife and I live on Davis Islands, and I reached out on Nextdoor. And I basically, this is during the lockdown, and I basically said, hey, if anyone would like a free porch portrait, I'd be happy to come by and from a safe social distance, take some pictures of your family on the porch, and I'll email you the pictures. And I posted that on Nextdoor. And I got an amazing response. By the end of it, I heard all sorts of things. People were just happy to like take a shower and put on nice clothes or put on makeup or have a reason to smile. It was really moving in a lot of ways, but people were very responsive to that. And then more than 55 people reached out to me.
Wow.
So during the lockdown, I'd hop on the golf cart and I'd drive around the neighborhood. I'd go to these people's homes, I'd take some pictures and I'd email them. And what I got out of it was I got to meet my neighbors because my wife and I had just moved there, didn't know too many people, and I wanted a way to connect. So I got their names, their addresses, their phone numbers, their email addresses, and I usually learned a little bit about them while we were talking from a distance about their family. So now I have a database of about 55 plus people in my neighborhood that I email periodically, and I send them a recipe or I just ask them how they're doing. And as of yet, it hasn't led to any business, but I imagine it probably will. Some sidebar to that was also positive for me was our local magazine, the Davis Island magazine, published a lot of those pictures and gave me credit for them. And then at the end of the year, they did it again. They kind of did a yearly wrap up. And they said, you know, thanks to Tom Wagner for taking pictures of the residents here. And here's another host of pictures. So it was really just about being honest and sincere with people and providing something that people wanted at the time. And that's led to an excellent start to 2021. So,
Well, yeah. Well, so here's what I find interesting though. Okay, so like that ship has sailed. Like, I hope we're not going back to lockdown, huh? Do you not think that if you did something like that now, you wouldn't still get results though? Like if you offered to, I mean, a picture in front of your house looks nice. Like, I mean, and now you don't have to stay as far away, maybe because not like, I mean, I'm saying you could still do some of the things he's talking about. And another big takeaway that I got from what you just shared is that rather than like wait for everybody to figure it out, you just jumped into action. You know, and I say it all the time that imperfect action is better than perfect inaction always. You just started doing, I mean, you could have just sat around and got fat and ugly. I mean, like a lot of us
I
did.
did that too.
Yeah, I mean, so, but instead you took action, and I promise if you continue to keep in touch with those 55 people, I 1000% guarantee that it'll turn into business. It hasn't been that long yet.
Right. And
Not everybody's
actually,
moving. They might now after they see what their values are.
I think now is a fantastic time to reach out to people because it's been a year. Like it's been a year. It's kind of the anniversary of the shutdown. So reaching out to people to me is very natural. Hey, it's been a year since the shutdown. How are you doing? How is your business? Are you recovering? Is there anything you need? One of the person that I talked to was thinking about leaving the restaurant industry and going into a different industry. And I said, hey, if you decide to do that, let me know. I know a lot of people. And if it's an industry where I know somebody, I'm happy to connect you. You know, it's just you're coming from a place of honesty and you're just trying to help people. So to me, being sincere is your best goal when you have a conversation with somebody. If you're being sincere, it will lead to success.
100%. So what I'd like to ask you is, I'd like to ask if you can kind of break it down. The 100,000, the month last month was 5 closings, right?
Yes.
Okay, 5 closings. So where did the 5 come from? You know, were they all Sphere? And maybe get a little as detailed as you can get, like, who were they? What was the conversation like? How did it come about?
So luck plays some role in this. I don't necessarily think that I'd do 100,000 in a month without a little bit of good fortune. For me, I think every single one of those was a referral. And one was a referral that led to a referral that led to another referral. So it ended up being one referral that led to 3 clients, all first-time home buyers. The other was a client that I helped buy in St. Pete, and they referred me to their neighbor who was selling. So I took on that listing. And then the other one, I was actually in Colorado skiing with my wife, and a very good friend of mine referred me to a business partner of his who was moving down from New Jersey. And the guy called me while I was about to go down a mountain, and he said, I found a house that's $2 million and I'd really like to make an offer. Can you help me with that? And I was like, yes, of course I can help you with that. Let me call you back in about 15 minutes. And I told my wife, sorry, I can't ski with you right now. And she was like, what? And I said, well, this is why. And she's like, okay, you can't ski with me right now. And I went back to our place and I made some inquiries, and he looks like he was buying in West Palm. and I couldn't access the MLS in West Palm. So I called and emailed and said, I'd really like to join the MLS over there. It's going to cost this amount of money, but it's a very good buyer. And they said, okay, go for it, do it. And we did that all in less than 24 hours. So tremendous support from the office, leadership and everyone. And we didn't end up getting that home. It's a whole long story I'm not going to go into, but the seller decided not to sell it.
I didn't know that part. Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's a whole over drinks, I'll tell you. But the buyer was fantastic. And a week later, I met him in West Palm. We looked at 5 homes. He picked one and we were under contract and we closed in less than 30 days. So it still was fantastic. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, March was fantastic and it was all referrals. It really was. But I'm still doing the things that I need to do for the rest of the year, which is I'm still doing open houses when I can. I've been doing my open houses because I've been getting listings. And yeah, and I've got a few more listings coming up. So that's going to continue to support me for a little while. But I'm still talking to people that I've been talking with for the past 12 months and saying, hey, I really appreciate that referral that you gave me. That was fantastic. And they came, we closed, they were super happy, and just trying to sow the seeds for future referrals. So for me right now, referrals have been fantastic.
Okay, so the referral that led to the referral tripod, whatever that thing was, like how did that come? Like that can't have been accidental. So like, I guess my question is, when you're working with someone actively, like how often are you asking for referrals?
It's subtle. And because I don't say, hey, do you know anybody who's buying and selling? Because to me, that doesn't roll off the tongue very easily for me, although it does for others. It's at the basis of my email. So it's in my signature. So there's that subtle reminder to people every time they get an email from me. But at the same time, as I'm showing a new buyer homes, I believe in educating my clients to the nth degree. I want them to know more about the transaction than even me, if that's possible. So we talk a lot and I give them information that I think is very useful. So every single one of those, I was out showing homes to a first-time home buyer. And the first one was a woman and she was like, I really appreciate all this information that you're giving. And I was talking to my friend at work who said that they're thinking about buying, and I gave them your name and I said, thank you. I really do appreciate referrals. It drives, a lot of my business. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, well, yeah, referrals are fantastic. Don't ever be shy. If you get an opportunity to talk about the agent that you're using and you love me, which I hope you do, please let people know. And so she led me to the next person, and it was almost like carbon copy. I mean, the same kind of conversation, same kind of education and information that ultimately, he said, I've talked to other agents before because I thought about buying for the past year. No one told me the things you're telling me. And I said, well, shame on them, but I'm glad you're getting the information now. And he said, I was talking to a colleague of mine over lunch yesterday, and I was telling him about you and the experience that I'm having. And he said, oh, really? I was actually thinking about buying a house. And so again, he made the referral, and I said, referrals are the backbone of business. So thank you for that. And it just led to that. And then now that person says, I think I know somebody in my office who might be looking to buy. Now, I don't know if it hasn't led to a referral yet, but he's sings my praises. So that's honestly what I think is the most important. If you do a good job, people remember that.
So true. Here's what I want to make sure everybody remembers out of what he just said. The first lady, when he said, oh yeah, that's the big part of how I drive my business. And she said, I didn't know that. I think we fall into this trap because especially if you're a part of this company where you hear I mean, if we had $1 for every time I told you about referrals, like we'd all be rich. Guys, they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't get it. The people that love you don't get it. They don't get it. Did I mention they don't get it? You have to train them. It's somewhere over there. You teach people how to treat you. Like you have to train them that you want referrals. You have to, and now, so, okay, so what you said, what do you do to thank them when you get a referral? Like, is there anything specific that you do? Like,
I really try to make it personal. So every person's a little bit different based on what they like to do, but I do try to do something for them. It can be taking them out to a nice dinner. It could be a gift card. Somebody who really loves Disney, I just sent them a gift card for Disney. So I do try to personalize it, but I always thank them. And when I thank them, I say, you know, it's funny, but a lot of people that I work with want to buy me a thank you gift, which I don't know.
That's a good sign.
But I didn't know if that happened, but I always say, no, 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 I appreciate that. The best thing you can give me is a referral. If you know somebody, just let them know you've got a great agent, and that's the only things that I need. It's worth $1 bazillion. So that's how I respond when people are like, oh, can I get you something? I want to thank you. And I'm like, just sing my praises.
My perfect size is referral.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's huge. So what is your average, you're obviously being purposeful. So I might open a can of worms because maybe you're like, I wing it every day, but I don't think so. What does your average day look like from forget like showings and stuff? Like, what are you doing every day to move your business forward? And what have you been doing consistently to get where you are today?
I try to balance things out between reaching out to my database, which I probably spend anywhere from an hour to 2 hours doing. And that can be a message. It could be a text message, Facebook, it could be a phone call. And then I also focus on the open houses that I'm doing that weekend, marketing them. Sometimes I do Facebook ads, although Facebook ads to me have gone the way of the dodo somehow. I continue to network, and I follow up with my past clients periodically. Sometimes it depends on where they are in the process. If they just closed, I ask them how they're doing. Do you need anything? If it's been 30 days, hey, you've been in the house for 30 days. Do you find yourself wishing you had something that you didn't have? Because that's usually when I do my, welcome home gift is 30 days later, because that's when they need something. They're like, oh yeah, I really wish I had this. If it's been 6 months, I reach out to them and say, hey, I just wanted to see how you're enjoying the house. How are things going? What's the neighborhood like? So I'm constantly doing that with my former clients. And database, open houses, former clients, that's probably the majority of it.
Okay, so this business that you're building, which is now getting massive, is pretty much exclusively referral or open house. End of story.
Yes.
Fair? Okay,
Yes.
Oh, I had a thought. It's when you have 5 kids, you forget stuff a lot. That is awful. I totally had a thought right now about something that you said. It's gone. That's fantastic. Like literally, guys, literally right out of my brain. Oh, is there a question on the Facebook to save me? That's fantastic. It's in the
It says what question someone asked was, what were you saying that impressed them so much?
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, it was what are you telling your clients that their other agents weren't? That was the question.
Yeah, again, I don't think there's any great secret to that. I explained to them what the market is. It's right now very different than it was 6 months ago. My tagline is real service, real honesty, real estate done right. And I live by that. I believe in being honest with people. I don't ever want them to think that I sugarcoated something or I painted a rosy picture. Like I tell my buyers, listen, you need a wartime consigliere right now. You need a wartime agent, because if you don't, you're not going to buy something. And I say, I don't like having this conversation with people because I feel like I'm scaring them. But the honest truth is, if you tell me that you love this house and on a scale of 1 to 10, you're going to be utterly devastated if you don't get it, I need to know that, because if that's the case, then I'm going to put on the gloves and go to battle for you and get you this house. But we have to be on the same page as to what that means. So I really, I just tell them the truth about what the market is. Or if it isn't a crazy market like this, I'm telling them about the process. This is the timeline. This is what to expect. I don't like surprises. Nobody really likes surprises when it has to do with money and buying a home or selling a home. So I maybe over communicate. I don't know, but
Not possible.
I just try to make sure that they're aware of everything that's going on, and making sure that I get ahead of their questions, but I always ask them for questions. People sometimes hesitate to ask questions, and I don't know, I guess it's innate in humans to not ask a question. They feel like maybe it makes them feel dumb or something. But I tell them, listen, any question that pops up, doesn't matter whether you think it's silly or not, ask me, because chances are 9 other people have asked me this month. So who just ask me the questions. So I don't think I'm giving them any kind of special information. I'm just giving them a clear understanding of if they're selling, this is what to expect. If they're buying, this is what to expect. And, it may not be pretty, but it's the honest truth. And as long as we are on the same page, this is going to go pretty smoothly.
Well, okay, so first of all, I remembered it. I wanted to make sure that you caught the point that not only is he keeping in touch with his people, there's a few things I caught. He's rewarding, so you train them that you want referrals. He's rewarding the behavior. I mean, sorry, but think about it like training a puppy. Like he's literally training them. Like he's rewarding the behavior. And here's the other thing about what you were just saying, that it's not that much. I just felt like, guys, it's sad and all, like the bar is low to get into real estate. There are a lot of agents out there that don't have any idea what they're doing or do not care about the client. And so the benefit to you guys is that all you have to do is kind of show up and be competent, and you're already above most people. And I think we get stuck in our heads because we see people like this. We see the top producers and we're like, I can't do that. He's like, no offense, he's not doing anything groundbreaking. He's doing his job and he's caring about people. That's literally all I've heard today.
True.
But the point of that is that means that you can do exactly what he's doing. Heather, like it's simple. Like it's so simple. And that's what, when I asked him to speak, he said to me, he's like, well, I don't know that I'm going to have anything all that interesting to say. And I'm like, well, that's the point. Because I think as agents, we make up these stories in our heads of like, well, I can't do that because of this. And I don't know how to do that because of that. It's like, well, no, just go do your basic job. Soapbox time. Ooh, we're good still. Is there another question? Is that's just a random comment? Fantastic. Oh, that's so wonderful. What I want to do is I want to see if anybody in here has any questions for Tom, or in here or on Zoom. That sounded very exclusive to the tech people. Who's got a question? All right, Cassie, I'm coming to you first.
Do you have assistants or transaction coordinator?
And I'm going to come back to you so she can hear you. This is fun. We're a tech company.
I don't yet. I am now thinking very much that I need to start to do that. And my plan was, get into the business. My first goal was cap. My first year I did in the 12th month.
You were
The
rookie of the
12th
year your
hour.
first year, weren't you?
No, I don't think so. I think there was somebody else who knocked it out of the
I
park,
thought-
which I still
Oh,
hate.
whoopsie.
That's
He
okay.
was close.
But my next year, which was 2020, was I wanted to increase my business by 50%, which I thought I was going to do until the pandemic hit. And then my goal for 2021 was to build my business again by 50% and start to hire, starting with an assistant and a transaction coordinator. And I think I'm there now. I just have to make my mind say I'm there, because I'm scared to death that I'm not there.
Talk to Julia. Oh, I'm coming back to you, Cassie. Get my cardio in because it's team meeting day. Yeah.
Well, and your wife will be happy because then you can go down the ski slope. And how do you plan your vacations? That's another question. How busy you are.
That is a great question. I tell my wife that it's tough for me to take time off, because when I take time off, I feel like I'm not producing for the future. And I say, keep that in mind, and then go book a vacation and tell me when it is. And honestly, I just do my best. I tell her I've got closings here and here, avoid these dates. After then that, it's in her hands, and I just trust that I'll figure it out.
Well, vacations are the best thing ever if you're looking for business.
Right.
The minute you go on, I mean, literally, $2 million deal fell in is like, all you got to do is go on vacation as much as possible. You will get more business out of it. Hold on. Say it now.
So that's why Gary Keller always says the first thing you put on your calendar is your playtime.
Oh, 100%. Life by design, not by default. Yes, sir.
My question for you is, before 2020, you said that you did a lot of open houses, and then right now you taught to your sphere, and then now you're going back to do open houses. So do you do any open houses or any agency you can get, or just KW specifically?
Great question.
It's so fun. There you go.
So for me, and I'll go pre-COVID to say what I chose to do, and every agent can choose them, whatever's convenient for them. or what feels the most comfortable. I picked any Keller Williams. I didn't specify just our Keller Williams, but if they were a Keller Williams agent, I believe in being strategic in the open houses that I do. So when I first started, I didn't know anything, just like everybody else who does. I literally didn't know anything. And I put it out there, anybody need an open house, and somebody needed an open house in, it wasn't even Brandon, it was like Apollo Beach or something. And I was like, okay. So I learned after that I needed to be a little bit more specific. So strategic to me means I pick the price point that I want, the type of house, which usually means a nice house that people want to come see, that hasn't been on the market for more than 45 days, but that was again pre-COVID. So keep that in mind.
45 days. Yeah.
Right. And then I'd basically have an email that I send out to those agents, those listing agents. And I say, I'm a capper at Keller Williams. I bring in a lot of business on my open houses. I put out at least 15 signs for every open house that I do. I promote it on Facebook, yada, 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 which I'm not even sure you can do anymore, literally. But all those things I would say in my email, and I would probably send out an average of 10 to 15 of those every week. And the first people to respond to me, I would book those. And that's how I was doing that's literally how I was doing my open houses. I don't think there's any reason why you can't do non-Keller Williams listings. I don't know if there's anything.
No, there's absolutely no rule against that. I know when I got into the business, open houses were my jam. That's how I started. I was 25 and I was in California. None of my friends could afford a house. So I needed to meet people. And I didn't care who the brokerage was, although I did prefer it when it was KW because there wasn't that automatic, like, well, what are you doing here? And yet, did I still do non-KW open houses and still get business out of them? Absolutely. I always looked for KW first, but I'm like, I always worked a wide area, so I wasn't going to stick to just my office. As long as they were a matching, as long as the sign looked the same, then I didn't really care personally.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's honestly what I do. I pick the price point and the type of home in the location that I want to be in. And then I hit as many of those as I can. And if I don't, then I widen my search a little bit and keep going until I book the open houses. And I don't stop until I've got Saturday and Sunday booked, regardless.
So, and I'll come right to you. So I like to pick up the lessons as we go. Everything you're telling us is not necessarily groundbreaking, except that you are strategic and you are purposeful. And what you just said at the end there is very important, that you didn't stop, very, very important, that you don't stop until you have the open house. Not like, oh, I called like 3 agents and I can't find one.
Right.
Like, no, you didn't stop. All right, coming back to Patty.
So the question I have is, you didn't call the listing agents, you emailed them. And also to search a good house, because I did a vacant property. I called a listing agent that was outside of Keller Williams, and it was down a dirt road and it was very isolated. So I didn't really get too much traffic. Yeah. So that's the key, is to make sure that you get a good property that shows well too. That's going to get a lot of traffic. Okay. Sounds like deliverance. I'm glad you came out of it alive.
Yeah, no, strategic. Yeah. If you want to sell an average price point of 500,000, don't go holding $150,000 shack open. I mean, like, it's really not rocket science. Like, be purposeful in your choice. If there's a particular area that you want to work within, if you want to focus on Carrollwood, then don't go book an open house in Hudson. Like, I don't like it. Don't do that. Like, it's really not that crazy.
And to me, I was surprised by hearing from other agents that they don't get bombarded with this. I would think that they get 15 or 20 email requests with every listing that they get, but they don't. I don't know why people don't do that, new agents especially, but for whatever reason, they're not being bombarded with these requests. Now, I would hear, we don't let people outside our office do open houses. Okay, I'd make note of that and I wouldn't bother them again. Or, the sellers don't want anyone other than me doing an open house. Okay, get it. I won't ask for that listing again. But I just keep at it until I find the ones that want. But the MLS is your best friend. It's just like if you were buying a home, I look at the photos, and if it's attractive to me, I'm thinking it's probably attractive to a lot of people. So that's how I pick the ones, and I start with those, and then I work my way out depending on how I need to go.
Well, and another thing, I was just talking to a newer agent the other day and giving some ideas. I know that things are selling so quickly, and I get it. So it makes the open houses difficult. Why not be calling agents in our office? Like the top-down report is posted. You know who does a lot of business. Why not call them and say, hey, I want to do an open house this weekend. Do you have anything that's not on market yet that maybe I could secure for open house? And I'll hear, like, I'm sorry, that's not clear cooperation. You're asking if you could do an open house. That's different. So I'm saying, like, why not do something like that? Like, I hear so many agents saying about how hard it is to get an open house. Well, let's stop focusing on how hard it is and go do something differently so we can get it. Do we have a question on the Zoom? Can you describe the open house arrangement with the listing agent share leads? Oh, I hope you're not sharing leads. Heck no. Heck no, my friend Alton. No.
No, no one's ever asked. And if they did, I would politely say no. And if that's part of your agreement, then I'll keep looking for a different open house. All of my leads are my own. I give them a report of how many people came and the feedback that we got. And that's pretty much it. You know, I don't do much other than that. I say we had, 12 people come through. 9 were actually buyers, 3 were just curious neighbors. The overall, comments were X, Y, and Z. And that's all I give them, usually by Monday.
Yeah, I would move right on if they wanted anything to do with the leads. And I have heard people ask that, move right on. That's not common and you don't have to do it. The only thing I'd ever done in the past, like if they, hey, if it's in their farm and they say, if somebody comes in and says they're working with me, like, don't poach them. Okay, well, I wouldn't do that anyways. Like that's the most that I've ever had. And here's another, if you're going to look for an open house and it's not your listing, you know what, do the right thing and be thorough at the end, because that's another reason that some agents say no to you. He gave a report. I used to let agents do my open houses all the time. Half the time they wouldn't send me an update. And then I've got a ticked off seller and I don't know what to tell them because the agent won't answer their phone. Like, so make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure you don't, it used to make me crazy. If you want to make your own flyers, go for it. Don't leave them on the kitchen counter when you leave my open house that I procured the listing for. That makes me crazy. So I'm just saying, like, think, make the right choices and be professional. We got time for one more question if we have one. Is there one sitting there, or do listing asking states? Yeah, I mean, they can ask for it. Say no. If they want your sign-in sheet, I wouldn't do an open house for that person. Sorry. Again, how many people came, all that good stuff. Any other question? Oh, yes, Anjali.
The only time I would share it is if they already come, just a particular person, if they come in with an agent and they have questions, then feel free to share it, but otherwise, no.
Oh yeah, if I had agents bring their clients in, I would share the agent's info all day long. Like, that's totally different. You're not going to get that person. But yeah, the sign-in sheet that's for you, for your business, no way. All right, anybody else? Last minute question. If you're on Zoom, you got to talk. All right, guys, give it up for Tom for sharing today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're done. And I know Amber wants to go to the last slide just because it makes things thorough. It just says the next meeting is next week. Yes. So the next meeting is next Thursday this time. My favorite question is, when's the team meeting? It's every single Thursday at 11 o'clock. Oh, there's lunch next week. So I know we'll have so many people that we'll have to actually turn people away. Y'all love your free food. We know it's true. Even the ones that make $100,000 a month love free food. Everybody loves that word. So thank you guys for coming. I'll see you in a week and go sell some houses.